Hi everyone, coming from the Idaho Discovery Center. Our next talk is about daily life in ancient Egypt. The most important and vital part of the life of an ancient Egyptian revolved around the Nile River. The Nile is about 4,000 miles long and flows north into the Mediterranean, and it is definitely the life source of the people. It provided water for growing food, for fishing, for hunting, planting vegetables, bread and onions, the staple food, and also beer and wine. So most importantly, it was vital because it actually created the civilization to begin with. People started building along the sides of the Nile and using its resources. The social hierarchy of ancient Egyptian people is like a pyramid. The pharaoh and royal family were at the top, and the nobility. Beneath that would be the government, military, the scribes, the teachers, and the doctors. And then came the commoners or workforce peasants, and the skilled workers also that built the temples and tombs. Home life for the ancient Egyptian was usually in a very simple mud brick house because stone was kept for temples and tombs. Most of these have crumbled, but there's a good example standing called Deir el-Medina, and it shows small huts of the tomb builders and workers that worked in the Valley of the Kings. Usually the simple home had a wooden door and the stairs going up to the top to get the cool air for sleeping at night. Daily life was based around raising a family and providing a good support system where the women did the work inside, cooking, taking care of the children, and the men went off to work either in the quarry or doing some kind of necessity work. Most men worked outside the home, and we see that little is known of women in everyday life, probably because most time was spent in childbirth. But we do see a lot of images of the hippo goddess Tauret and Bes, which were amulets to protect the mother and child. Clothing of the ancient Egyptian was very simple. A simple woven flax or linen tunic style for both men and women, and of course nobility had much fancier fabrics. Medicine was also important, but was also based around spells and herbs and spices. Malaria and schisto, the parasitic infection, were very common, so remedies were used and also spells. The religion of the ancient Egyptians was polytheistic, meaning it related to or was characterized by belief in more than one god. So we consider this polytheistic because they had many deities. Magic and spells were very important in a large part of the life of an ancient Egyptian to protect them and to ward off evil. Mostly because remembering to them death was not necessarily the end, but a chance to live again. So you had to lead an honest, good life, and then you would be rewarded in the next life. The death process, of course, mummification, consisted of the body being washed, the heart was left in place, and the incision made on the left side where the organs were preserved. The body was desiccated in natron or salt for 40 days and then wrapped and mummified. Some of the gods that the ancient Egyptians worshipped were Osiris, Anubis, Horus, Thoth, Hathor, and Sekhmet. And many symbols were also used relevant to the god in everyday life, and this would be the Ankh, the crook and flail used by the pharaoh, which was governing the Wadjet or Eye of Horus, the scarab, creation, and the Jed pillar, the strength of life. So that's all for today. Tune in next time.